This is the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver. Aaron is a huge fan of country music star Eric Church and is a member of the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron has Shriver. Attended and Aaron is a huge fan of country music star Eric Church and is a member of his fan base, the Church Choir. Aaron has attended and continues to attend as many shows as possible. They will share their awesome stories of incredible people. It's time to meet one of them right now. Ladies and gentlemen, here's your host and choir director for the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast. It's time to meet one of them right now. Ladies and gentlemen, here's your host and choir director for the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast, Aaron Shriver.
All right. And for another week. I'm really hoping somebody will say this intro finally worked. I heard it good on my end. I don't know what you guys heard. So if not, oh well. Welcome to episode 4, everybody. We are very excited to be here again for another week. And tonight is going to be an awesome night. I got a great guest, but as of last week, I introduced a whole new segment, and it's pretty cool because I got a really fun guest tonight. We're going to go ahead and bring her on. I can find my little, and she's going to give us a 5-minute recap of the show where Eric was just in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. So please welcome Donna. I'm going to mess up your last name always.
That's okay. It's Donna Barilla.
Barilla. Yes, I'm bad with last names. All right, hold on. Let me ask if anybody has sound. Can you guys hear us? If anybody's in chat and you guys can hear us, let me know. Sorry, Donna. Now someone says no. This could be interesting. Let me get this fixed before we continue. It's going to be a good show tonight. We don't want to miss anything. Okay. Someone says no sound. If you guys, all right, some people are saying yes. Yes, we can hear you. Okay, cool.
Can you hear me?
10-4, loud and clear. You guys can hear Donna too?
Okay. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Hello.
If you guys cannot hear or see me waving my hands, just refresh if you can. But this is Donna. She attended Calgary this weekend, and we can wait. So go ahead. Tell us.
I did. I attended. I live about 4 hours away from Calgary. Okay. I am a Canadian. I've been a member of the church choir for about 3 years, and I've been to 3 other concerts. So my first Eric Church concert cost me $16. Wow. This weekend cost me $3,000. So this is an expensive habit, and I've learned that over the weekend. Like, I am not the only one with this problem. I've met people from all over the U.S., all over Canada. I heard about people going to 98 shows, and people. I would love to go to. I'm like, I got kids and bills.
I just went to Green Bay last Saturday. Green Bay was my 162nd show.
That amazes me, and I'm so jealous. So I really took this weekend for me because Eric Church doesn't come to Canada a lot. And, I'm the average housewife. I can't afford all of that. I mean, I took this as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I went full out. I tried to get pit tickets. I've been a member of the church choir for a few years. I couldn't get pit tickets. I got 19th row on the floor for Friday night, which I thought was really good. Until I think you have a picture that was actually official by their official photographer, and you can see my bun in the picture. It's on like 4'11", and it's a hard go. Well, actually, that picture is from the pit, but the 19th row on the floor is a hard go at 4'11". But I really enjoy my time. The show is great. But I wanted to talk about, the show and the experience, that how many fans I met, and we all gathered, and through the official Eric Church site, and then the Canadian site, and then the Eric Church, everybody's meeting together. We had a tailgate party. People got to meet Eric. He came off his bus and shook people's hands. And
really?
I noticed for him throughout the show was his connection with the kids. And when you talk about the show and what moments really touched me, I saw his people giving away pit passes to kids. Yep. And I saw him take this little kid's boot, and there's a great photo of it on the official Eric Church site. And he just really took a minute with that boot just to enjoy it. And which leads to another thing that was really interesting that a lot of our co-friends were talking about online was the security. And as a first timer on this tour, I truly had some expectations. And I thought during having a record gear and these boots that I'd be able to approach the stage and show my flag like I was on the floor. And security shut that down on Friday night pretty quick for everybody. And I was terrified to leave my seat because I was told if I left my seat again, I would be kicked out. So I found that really extreme. And they carried lots of people out on Friday night, and lots of people had their boots snatched and things. And but
well, I heard a story about Eric called a security guard out because the guy wanted to try to get his boot or get back to a seat or something.
Because, I'm feeling things are tight, right? And then this guy, Eric, throws his boot back up to him. And I don't have the whole view at 4'11", but I hear him, hey, hey, hey. And there's a tussle in the crowd, and you can kind of see this. And Eric says, hey, bitch, you work for me. And he's calling out the security guy for roughhousing this guy for trying to retrieve his boot. But they're in their own bubble, they're in their own zone, they're not looking.
If anybody has these boots on video, I need to see this.
It's amazing moment. Amazing moment. But that, you know what? It just spoke to his personality in the crowd, and my 5 minutes is up. I could still talk for another 10, but thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for having me.
Let me see what else. I know I had a few other pictures real quick. So before we bring Lee on, let me see what our pictures we have.
Well, I didn't even tell you about my guitar and how I
know
tickets.
Well, here. So yeah, tell us about that real quick now. What are they doing with this?
As a huge super fan, I happened to know to get to the church choir early for the pop-up store. So as soon as I got to the pop-up store, now I'd been at the pop-up store the night before and dropped a load of cash and got my hoodies, my sweatshirts, my exclusive poster set, and the girl remembered me. So again, I'm at the pop-up store like 4:00 in the afternoon, right? So what's exclusive tonight? So that night they had JD bottles for $250, and let's see if we can get this in. This amazing guitar signed by Eric Church, which actually came with pit tickets.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and because 19th row with the bun, pit tickets made my day. I cried, and that was one of the best experiences I think that I'll have as a fan, really, in my life. Like, I cried, I hyperventilated, I went to a true fan.
I think we were talking really quick right before we went on air. The guitars, they're not cheap, but at first in Omaha they weren't even signed. And then after a couple of shows, I think the following weekend in St. Louis or something, they were signed finally. And now you got pit tickets with it. So you got a signed guitar and pit tickets for that price. So
I was in the right place at the right time. There was 2 guitars, and that came with pit tickets, and I just happened to be there. Just luck. Yeah.
Nice.
Luck and patience.
Cool. There's a picture by Anthony. Anthony's is amazing. I mean, the work he does, Eric. So
the other thing I would say is I really like that how he went in our province, like they did a video, thank you Canada, and they went into the mountains, and it just showed his character. I mean, I love this guy.
Yeah. Well, seeing Eric out there on the canoe or whatever, taking pictures with his phone and
exactly
being him again. That's what Eric kind of got back to. I'm telling you guys, if
the living part of life.
The year this year, he'll never win it. This is his year, and if he doesn't win it, it'll never ever happen for him.
They're asking the wrong people.
Well, you don't see other artists do these kind of things where they go out during the day and visit their fans or drop pit tickets off or go visit national parks or
come to the tailgate party.
They're doing. It's just amazing. So,
amazing.
Well, Donna, I really appreciate your time. We went over a couple minutes with you, but I heard Calgary was a phenomenal show. And I just want to bring you on for a little bit and get you to talk about it. So
glad I got introduced to your podcast, and thank you for having me on.
No problem. We'll talk soon. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, guys. Yeah, I wanted to do that starting last week. Now, next week, we'll bring on a couple other people. I saw in chat, Michelle. Man, if you guys want to come on next week, come on. I know I got you guys in December, coming on the podcast, but I love a 5-minute recap of San Francisco this week from you guys. So let me know. Shoot me a message, or I'll message you guys. And we'll get it set up. But we kind of have a main event tonight. So I got to go into this real quick. I feel sorry for the other 3 podcasts I've done because I think tonight might bury them. I was going through picking up pictures. I have like over 70 pictures I pulled and that she sent me that we've collected, and stories that go back for all the way to 2006 that we have. But I'm going to go bring her on. But Miss Lee, you ready?
What's up?
I was going to play an intro for you, but I totally did not have a chance to cue it up. I was so like in this deep moment of talking with Calgary. I was like,
dude,
do you hear me?
Donna's enthusiasm. Look, Donna's enthusiasm was crazy. Am I on there?
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yep, this was your intro that I didn't get a chance to play.
I wore out more souls.
Thank you. Dude, Donna's enthusiasm was crazy. I can listen to her talk all day.
On dial-up. I don't know, man. I'm down in the basement. I got full signal, but weird. Yeah, no, Donna's energy was awesome. That's why I love doing these reviews. I know they might go over 5 minutes, but you remember back in the day when we had the boards. I mean, we'd always do our like little page-long reviews or whatever. So that's why when I started doing this, I was like, well, now Green Bay's coming back around. Let's just start doing reviews again on here and just see what everybody says. Share some pictures they took or stories. I mean, last week with Spencer, we had him running into Eric flagging him down in a parking lot. And this week with Donna getting a guitar and all her pit tickets. This is cool.
That was cool. Yeah, it was cool. She should have cried. She should have cried on here, and that would have been better. But
you been good?
yeah, I'm good.
Cool.
Long day at work, middle school, but I made it home for you.
So
and the choir.
Hey,
everybody.
So go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about yourself. You're Lee. You're Wild Irish Rose to me. Actually, my good friend Justin gave me one of these, so I had to have it sitting right here tonight. But you're from North Carolina. Go ahead and tell everybody how you discovered Eric Church.
I'm 36 years old. I like long walks on the beach. No, I'm joking. So yeah, just like you, 06 when it. How about you? You know, when the album came out one summer, heard that, you know, selling CMT videos and things. It was just catchy. There was a Jake Owen song going around about the same time. Just some catchy music at that time. Don't listen to a lot of radio, but caught it, knew it was different. Saw an article on Eric back in 06 in our like local triad little paper, you know, because it was North Carolina boy. And then Dorton Arena is our state fair arena for all the concerts during the state fair in Raleigh. And October, I think it was like 18th or something, he played Dorton Arena, and man, that was it. I mean, just seeing him live was, you know, nothing like it.
So did you hear the music before the show, or did you see the show before you heard the music?
Heard the music. Okay. Heard the music over the summer, yeah, when it was released, and then went to the show, got tickets. It was the first time he was close to me, you know, after I'd heard the music. And I mean, once the CD went in, I mean, like everybody else says, it didn't leave the truck for a long time. Yeah. And then met him that night, met him that first show. I sent you that picture where I'm so young. So young.
All right, what were you?
Many years ago.
You got to tell me what you were wearing in this picture.
It was like a trucker hat. He has long hair. He has like a mullet. I have a mullet, probably. It's
can't be that one.
Trucker hat. It was one of the very first ones I sent. Maybe like the second one I sent. Yeah.
I got so many pictures that, like, between the couple that you sent over and then the ones that I was able to dig up. Oh, this could be it.
I have that same hat on in that picture.
Nope, this ain't it, because I know for a fact it's not, because this is the green hat days.
No, I have on his hat, and he has on mine in that picture.
I got a couple pictures like that, too. I don't know why. He always grab my hat. Oh, man. I got so many pictures on here.
But I think I wrote once, like that night, I met him out by the bus, and he grabbed a hold of my hat, and he was like, "I like that hat," And we chatted, and it was real. I had my best friend Jim was with me that night, and she got her picture with him too, and she could have cared less, but I always pick at her about, she was there when it all started, because she gives me a hard time, about it all. But yeah, so that night, and just under carnival rides and the smell of popcorn, I met him for the first time, and it's all been down from there.
I don't know. I'm trying to find these pictures, but I got a lot of pictures, a lot of stories that we're gonna get into. So, did you ever? I mean, you and I were there since day one. Did you ever think that what's going on now would have happened?
Of course I did. No, I didn't know that. I wonder if he knew, how it was all gonna. I don't know. I thought it was like a good run for a while, and then we'd just see what happened. I mean, I knew how talented he was, but I like a lot of music that nobody else likes. So that was a very good, judgment call. But I mean, I definitely knew he could write. Lyrically, it was like poetic. It was a little bit different than what was out at the time. It wasn't. Yeah, he's got some songs that are a little bit cliche, but not all of it. So, but no, I had no idea he'd be selling out.
They're not the same songs over and over again.
Yeah,
I got to pull this picture up real quick. I love this photo you sent over.
So
let's talk about this real quick.
Yeah, so that was my second show ever. So I'm 98. I just told you talking before the show. I'm 98 in. That was number 2. So he played Dorton Arena, and then a little while later in the winter he played Coyote Joe's, which is where he's played several times. I've seen him, less than 10 times, but he's played a lot at Coyote Joe's in Charlotte. But he used to just fall down and play from his knees, and this one he just kind of laid down in front of us, and someone Ed grabbed my camera.
Yep.
And took this picture, which is what they used to do that a lot. They would grab cameras and take a picture back at the crowd. So
I got a couple that Eric actually took over the years. Some good ones.
Yeah. But that night right there, this guy in front of me, a drunk guy, he was crying, just like tears streaming down his face. And I was like, dude, it's okay. What's wrong, And he just grabbed me by the collar, and he was like, these songs are about my life. They're about my life, man. And I thought, yeah, they totally are,
Yeah. Oh yeah. But, I think that's what brought us all here, because we've all had at least one song. There's a time where I'm like, this guy's just writing about my life. Like he's spying on me. It was I think it was around the Carolina Chief days. I was like, damn, this is really good.
Yeah.
All right, we got Sue, we got to throw that up there. I was told to tell you how pretty you look. She's looking good. I told you that before in the chat when I was talking to her right before we went live. I'm like, man, you look lovely.
I put on some eyeliner for you guys.
I haven't had a chance to talk with Lee, and I don't know, man. When's the last time we talked? It's been a few years. There's Becky.
Most of the time I say sarcastic insults to you on your posts, which are always funny. I like to pick on Aaron.
Let's talk about some sort of, let's get some fun pictures. I want to find some fun pictures I pulled. Let's hold on. We got to talk about this picture. If you even remember this picture, this is a picture I took of you years ago. The bobblehead. Mine's in this guitar case.
He always agrees with me. So I'll tell you a story. I ended up with a bunch of these because I called Hickory when these were coming out, and I found out he was going to be the bobblehead. And I was like, oh, could I buy some extras?
Sorry,
that's Rachel. Oh boy, yeah. Got church.
So how many
bobbleheads?
Yep. How many bobbleheads did you get?
I got 5, and I've gifted. Yeah. People that didn't have them.
I've traded. I have to. I only got one left now. I have it locked in the guitar case with my 150th bottle, because if the kids get around them, then it's those kids. I don't let the kids downstairs no more, because they'll tear stuff up. So this picture here,
You know-
we're going to talk about this show real quick. Do you remember when this picture was taken? What show this was?
Well, you had to be. Did you take? You took it from across the catwalk. I don't know though. Oh, that was Hickory.
Yeah. That's why you had the bobblehead going. So
yeah, because Rachel came to Hickory. We did we did a reunion there, and we all had the sky blue T-shirts. Peace, love, ECB.
So we were talking about last week when Corey was on. We were talking about one of my favorite pictures about Eric singing Carolina in Carolina. This is one of our pictures here with Eric. Let me take myself down for a second. You can see Eric chilling down in the front there, but that was our night. We did was this our second reunion?
Yeah, this was number 2.
I think this is our second reunion. It's kind of a funny story because this guy about a couple years ago finds me on Facebook and sends me a message and like, "Oh, you and I hung out at Hickory, this and that," and he had your sinner sign.
Yeah,
no, he did. Him. He's a pretty cool little guy.
Yeah, he did get it. But, so funny story I'm gonna tell on Aaron.
Uh-oh.
So me and Carla and Rachel, I think, kind of headed up that, kind of took the lead on that reunion. So we ended up getting meet and greets, and Aaron had one too. The meet and greet gods blessed him with one that night. So several people.
The last one I ever had too.
Well, no, you know what? So the night of that Sinners poster is the night of the Sinners poster is Morganton, the first reunion.
Oh, okay.
We camped out all day. You were there before 6 o'clock. We camped out all day to wait in line. But stupid us left our stuff with the group on the front row and went to the meet and greet, which was right before Eric came on. On the way back, there were 100,000 people there. I mean, not really, but there was a bunch. And Aaron taps this girl on the shoulder. Tap, tap, tap. Excuse me, ma'am. Can I get back to my stuff? And she basically comes around with a fist, starts swinging. A lady says, "Don't you touch my daughter." And we get our shirts ripped, and it was all because of Aaron. It's all Aaron's fault.
We forgot about that. The girl was like 16 or something. And I'm like tapping her on their shoulder, like saying, "Hey, I need to get by." And her mom like clocks me in the face almost.
Yeah, but I had that sign, and it ended up getting trampled on. That kid picked it up. He's still a Facebook friend of mine.
Still has it.
He has it signed. He got it autographed. I'm like, dude, keep it on the big deal. But it was in the video.
I got one of your signs. I don't know if it was it might have been from the same night. I don't know. You made it, and then I don't know what you were doing with it. You gave it to me at the end. It was a driver one. I forgot what it said on it. I got it. It's put away in the closet over here. It's only it doesn't fit on the wall, but it says something about it, and the driver signed it on it. But like you had me hold it up during the show, and you're like, "Oh, just keep it, driver." And I kept it. It's still in the closet somewhere. I actually got a few things of yours that made it to the wall over the years. We'll go over a couple of them. So yeah, Hickory. I mean, these shows. The Crawdad Stadium was awesome. It's probably one of my, Carolina shows are just amazing. I don't want to say it was one of my favorites, but it was just. We're gonna go back to this one since we're talking about reunion shows. So this one we talked about a little bit. I think with Carla when she was on.
Carla.
Yeah. Carla was fun.
One
of these days I'm gonna do a show with Carla, and her and I are just gonna drink and do a show. So this picture, I don't know, is this the one you sent in?
Yeah, I sent that one. Well, that was enough. We have from the same night is that famous picture of us all holding it with Eric. This one is with Jeff earlier in the day, before we were all sweaty in front of the stage that we almost got killed in front of.
That banner still stands. One of these days.
I don't know if you remember, Aaron, I don't know if you remember this, but even then, there was this hate for Rascal Flatts because you wrote on like the radio sign or something, "Rascal Flatts sucks," and like took a picture of it.
There's a question later on tonight in our our hot seat question round that might have to do with something that happened that night. Okay. So I might have to. I just not thought about that. I got to pull a picture because I saw it earlier, And I was thinking, I'm like, do I pull this picture or not? And I'm like, I don't know if Lee will remember it. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And so now I'm going to do it. I'm just going to put it for later.
I don't use it. I have mommy brain.
I got 2 of them. Do you remember a 5x or a Walmart photo envelope?
A Walmart.
That you drew on or you wrote on?
Yes.
And I know that was yours. So
I love boys.
This is the funny story. So back in the day, I think this might have been the show that Q and I did this, but we went to the reunion the night before, and we really had nowhere to go. So we're like, where do we go? And Q's like, let's just go get in line. It was like midnight. So we go get in line at midnight and sleep outside all day. Then we go back in the morning and shower and switch out with people. And then we slept in the front row during the day. And I wake up to photos like this.
That was classic.
I think it made MySpace one of these days.
Yeah. Aaron is like the most fun to pick on. So fun. Do it all the time. Every day.
At least it wasn't a mom taking swings at me, though.
Yeah. No, she was a lot more scary. She had about 2 teeth. Yeah. It was
Patty said that was the show that she got punched at. That was Patty that was with us coming back from the meet and greet.
Yeah. It was horrible. Pretty bad. But I mean, lesson learned. You don't leave. If you leave, you don't come back. That was early on, though. That was before we really knew how crazy it was going to get.
I think this was the breaking point, or not. Well, not the breaking point, but this is where it was kind of a reunion show. When they did the Sinners video, that was our first reunion, right? No, that was our second.
No, that was the first video.
That was the first reunion, yeah. So it was kind of like when we really knew that there was something brewing. Like it was really starting to really catch on because we were doing all these little shows in everybody's little hometowns that were 10 or 20 people in Walmart parking lots or little hole-in-the-wall bars. And then all of a sudden, all these people decide, hey, we're going to have a choir reunion. We all kind of come together at one place. And then you have 1,000. I mean, that's probably the biggest crowd I saw for the biggest crowd up to that date, other than another show you want to talk about. So let me throw a picture up here real quick. And let's start talking.
I'm always scared.
No.
I'm afraid I won't know what you're talking about.
You sent me this one, so you'll like this one.
Okay. Yeah.
But you said you want to talk about the show, and I do too, because you're the first person I can actually talk about the show with. It's been on the show. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I'm going to take myself off the camera real quick so we can have this picture a little bit bigger. Tell me about this picture and what he's wearing.
Okay, so Eric played his high school, South Caldwell in Granite Falls. Early on in his career, he did like just a hometown thing where you could buy tickets at like little local hardware stores and things. The radio gave a bunch away, and they just packed the football stadium, put a big stage on the field. He came back, and they did some videos of him in the locker room and walking in school halls with his jersey on. I guess that was his number, and there was a lot of pictures of him, just walking the halls and stuff. But he came, played all kinds of new music for the first time. I mean, it's the first time we heard a ton of songs. When I had
Sweet Caroline on and Carla on, we were talking about the Cut by Cut show in Nashville. And this is one of my pictures I pulled here. This was actually before the Cut by Cut show, and we heard a lot of Carolina for the first time. And this was a while before Cut by Cut. That was my angle here.
Yeah, cool. That was the first time. Ever.
Well, this is the first time I ever met you. This is the first show I think you and I met at. He signed afterwards, but he played on Sunday, which was so weird. He played like an early Sunday evening show. But I had to work that Monday morning. I had to drive back to Mississippi. So it was really cool. I got pictures where there's a line of about 200 some people in a merch line. Eric comes off his bus, points at Q and I, and we had Jillian and Brittany with us, and walked over to us, spent like 10 minutes talking with us before he even touched the line, just so we could hit the road because he knew we had an 11-hour drive home. It was like we were leaving there and then going back, we were going straight to work from the show.
Yeah.
This is
he did. I mean, he hung out. All the guys hung out backstage on the football field for a while. It was that's actually one of the first times I connected with Carla. Like I talked to her some online and sent her a shirt, she asked me, he picked me up a shirt. They had a special shirt made for that show with his high school logo and stuff on it. So that
Joey's
that was one of our first group
money
photos.
for a new field.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, cool. I didn't know that. Yeah, it probably says it on.
Yeah, well, Joey Lee and I was actually talking about that because he forgot the lyrics.
Yeah.
Let me make it look so easy.
Yeah. And that's Nicole. Nicole and I hung out. It was just the first time I met a lot of like the people who have been around for a really long time.
Yeah. First time I met you and who else is in that picture? Well, Kim was there. Well, Kim got the guitar that night because that was the night we raised a bunch of money for Eric.
Yeah, totally. Kim took a check, raised money, and Kim took a check on stage to Eric. Yeah, how could I forget that? Yeah, that was great.
Yep. I think it's Dolores in the picture, isn't it?
Yeah, in the background.
Yeah, we lost her a couple years ago.
Look at tiny little Aaron.
That was before the wedding weight.
Aaron, yeah.
I was skinny at one point, but yeah, it was really cool. He only had sinners out, and he had like 3 local openers that opened up for him, which was really cool. I'm trying to think. I thought I had some other.
And Jesus was with him that night.
Mark.
Jesus.
Good old Mark. Man, there's so many pictures in here. When I look at these pictures, like, what do I want to share next, or where do I want to go with this next? Oh, here we go. You talking?
They put the first billboard up for that show too.
I have a picture of Jimmy and I. I don't know if I can find that. That actually would be a good picture to show.
That's Nicole. Nicole.
We got to get Nicole on here. She needs to come talk to me sometime.
Well, Nicole, she moved around and took pictures for a while for them, and
I think she was actually the very first ever official Eric Church photographer.
Yeah, absolutely. And she, Sweet Caroline, the other night mentioned something about, I don't know, was it the machine shop or somewhere where Eric was holding a dog. Do you guys remember talking about that? I have that picture. I mean, I can grab it. It's behind me somewhere, but after we do it, I can send it to you. You can post it in the comments or something. But he's holding a puppy, and the rest of the band is with him that Nicole took. And for my birthday or something, one year she gave me a blown up copy of it.
Nice.
It's really unique. It's something you don't usually see from them, But she said Eric was just like smitten with this little dog because he's a dog guy. Anyway.
Yes, he is.
There's the billboard. Yeah, there you go.
So there's the billboard. That's Skinny Aaron, and I don't know who I'm with there. No, that's my wife. But yeah,
met at the show.
It was a huge billboard, and it was pretty cool. It's rolling into town, and it's probably really close to where the home Eric Church is now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, who's that little boy wearing the West Virginia hat? That was me.
Yeah, totally. That's funny.
I was tiny, but yeah, when he played his high school, they gave him a jersey. It was an amazing time. I mean, it was just.
Yeah. Well, you could see. I mean, that picture where he's on his knees. I mean, there was a lot of like emotional, just him. He'll pause and he'll look out and just take it all in.
I got a funny picture. I'm pretty sure you took.
Yeah, I did. I did take that.
I was like, God, I got my pictures pulled up now. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you pulled that up. There's Jillian in front, and I'm right behind Jillian.
Oh, yeah. That was awesome. Look at that.
That's the passion right there. That was like I can tell you exactly. Where was that folder? Does that pull up?
They made a video. To recap that whole show. I wonder where that's at.
That was my 10th show. That's show number 10 for me.
Yeah. Crazy.
I agree, wow. Brian. Brian says dogs are better than cats. I all day, every day, guys. So, guys, we're about at the halfway mark. If you're just tuning in, this is Miss Lee Harris Haywood, or like I call her, Miss Wild Irish Rose. So, tell us why Wild Irish Rose. Why was that, and why do I call you that? Like, where did that name come from?
Okay, so when just like everybody else, we originally had to make a board handle for the choir board. I mean, These Boots, I love that song. I mean, who doesn't? I don't know anybody that doesn't like it. And I don't know. I think about, I don't know, my family's Irish. You know, I married a ginger, so we're definitely Irish. I don't know, it just stuck out to me. And there was a time when early on, every show that I was at, Eric would, especially if I was up close, find me and point. And I know Mark Butler, I think, has a cool video of him at
Butler. I've not heard that name forever.
Yeah, he's still around. And he was standing in the crowd, and he gets to that lyric, he'll kind of nod or winker. But, not anymore. But there was a time when
well, that's how the name of the show came about for me. I mean, it was the same thing. Like when Eric would sing Wild Irish Rose, he knew he was singing to you because he knew that was your handle back in the day. Eric never admitted to it, but we always knew he was definitely on those boards. I mean, he had a lurk somewhere. I think he still lurks to this day. I mean, I know he doesn't do social media, but
I don't know.
He knows more. Than he should know. So I want to do something really, really cool. I'm going to try something new. I got it pulled up. I'm going to try something new. I'm going to post. Let me throw this picture up first. So back in the day, back when this first started, we, the church choir, mainly Lee and I, we did everything we could to get Eric's name kind of out there. And you know where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
So we did everything we could to get Eric's name out there. And I'm not going to dog nobody and say that the official ericchurch.com was lousy, but we had something else come up. And it was
I don't think it was lousy.
So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to take this down. And I found out, I'm going to take Lee off for a second. You can still hear me, right, Lee? I'm going to take me off for a second. You can still hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Let's see if I could do this. This will work for me. Earlier it was working. So I can get to work again.
I know it's still there. A lot of the links don't work, and a lot of the...
So I'm not going to be able to see anything you guys are saying in the chat, but if you guys could see this. Lee, what do you see on your end?
I can see the website.
All right. So this is Lee's old website. It was ericchurchmusic.com. I had one myself. It was called striverdiver.com. And Lee and I would run the unofficial Eric Church websites pretty much. But Lee's was amazing. The things and the time and the work she put into this. Lee would come up with things. Here, EC banners and more. So it'd just be different photos that you could use to put on your MySpace or your blogs. When's the last time you heard MySpace? So she would create these profile pictures, avatars, buddy icons. Look at this.
It doesn't work. Yeah, they don't work. Oh, there's some over there. Wow. Yeah.
And then this right here. Well, I've mentioned this. I've talked this before, but the Eric Church Awards. Lee created what we call the ECAs. It was an Eric Church award system back in the day. And every reunion we'd have, they would reward different fans for different awards. I mean, I got a couple. I'm not gonna brag, but I got a couple. But yeah, you got furthest mileage travel to a reunion, coolest ECB signer poster. This is actually pretty cool, Lee. That you still have this up and running. I'm not gonna lie.
It's not right. I mean, a lot of it has been taken over by. I mean, I own the domain name, and I rebuilt it.
Mm-hmm.
I completely rebuilt it about 5 years ago and just never launched it because Facebook became such a thing. Yep. Facebook is so instant, and Twitter's so instant.
Look who that is. That old house in Mississippi.
Oh my God. Look at that. That's early on.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron's collection early on.
Well, there's yours.
Oh. Yeah. Wow.
That is so cool. But yeah, I mean, so back in the day, there's Kim's guitar that she got at that show we were talking about. So back in the day, you really wouldn't find this kind of stuff on. Well, you still wouldn't to this day. So this was kind of like an unofficial fan page. I'm gonna get off this thing and we're gonna go back to the show in a second. I'm not gonna go down a rabbit hole. I seriously could go down a rabbit hole your website, but I just wanted to like.
Oh, there's a bunch. If you dig, there's a bunch. But like I said, a lot of my albums, when Google Picasso changed over to like Google like Photos or whatever.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
A lot of those converted to me, but I took them down or they got like the links don't work. Still a lot of. I was very young. I was in my 20s. And bored.
I wasn't the fan of the month though. So this was Lee's fan of the month. This was so cool though. Oh hey, you made my parents one. That's cool. CMA fan. So this is all the old fans from way back. There's Murphy.
Wow.
Country Caroline. Look at all these people. Shelly and Timmy. So if you ever get bored and you want to go down an Eric Church rabbit hole, go to ericchurchmusic.com. This stuff is probably over 10. Oh, there's Kara. Look at Kara. She's coming on in a few weeks. So, but yeah, it's probably over a few years old. At least 10 years old, I would say.
Wow.
But we're not going to go down that
old now. Hole. Every time you bring up MySpace, I feel old.
Yeah. I actually logged into my MySpace. Yeah, Todd. Right there. I would have got lost in it. He says really cool. It's ericchurchmusic.com. I wish I still had mine up and running. It was cool, but I started doing a photography thing and I turned mine into a photography site and it was fun. But yours was so cool, the archives you have, and that's why I'm so cool you kept that.
I still have, every show, like the album from every show kind of stored on Google Photos. There's your logo.
Yeah, sure, that one. That was mine.
Familiar.
I still remember making that. This was one of the coolest stories. I didn't share this with Carla, but this is what we used to do. So Carla needed some help for a week. I went down to Louisiana for a week, and it was Carolina release week. So I sat at Carla's house and I designed this logo for my website. And I was doing it, and all of a sudden I was like, I'm going to take a break. And I took a break and I went on eBay. I don't know why I went on eBay. And somebody posted an advanced copy of Carolina like 6 days before it was supposed to drop. I was like, oh boy. So I emailed this guy right away. I was able to get it. He overnighted it to me. So the next day we had it. So like 5 days early, we had Carolina, and Carla and we took a nice little drive and just jammed out all weekend. And I came back and I made this logo or finished this logo. So the bottle, I actually put the Carolina song lyrics on the side of the Jack Daniels label, or not the lyrics, but the album track. So I think it was back in the day before the internet was really booming. So you didn't have the track listing for albums. So I kind of released this logo like before the album dropped. So I had all the track listing on it. I thought I was going to get in trouble, but I didn't. So I was glad.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that you even posted some songs because on your website because I remember digging there and listening to some stuff early on.
I might have actually probably uploaded some Carolina. So speaking of getting in trouble, everything else, you asked, can we talk about something? I am the type of guy where people are like, oh, did you ask for permission? It's better to ask for forgiveness than permission sometimes. So we were talking about lyrics that we really love and songs we really love. And there's a song that Lee brought up. And a few years back, I mean, it's still floating around here or there. There was a couple dozen unreleased Eric Church songs that were floating around. But there was one that I know you connected to. So I'm going to play just a little bit of it and then tell me why you connected to it.
That boy I've been thinking and there's been a change in plan. You ain't no song.
All right, that's all I'm going to be able to play. So tell me why is that your favorite, or why do you connect to that song?
Well, if you didn't understand it, like if you haven't heard it, it's an unreleased Eric song. It's called Sawmill Man. Mm-hmm. And my grandpa, and I know you were close with your grandpa, Aaron, and we've talked a lot about like going fishing and some of the connections to the songs, but like my grandpa taught me to hunt, fish. I mean, that actually McBride song is about, there's some things in there that she talks about that I really connect with too. But my grandpa was a sawyer, He cut logs his whole life. I'm from North Carolina. We have a lot of woods, and I live in a really, really rural area. But he sawmilled, his whole life, and he would take me. I stayed with them when I was really young, till I was about 5. I would stay with them a lot, and he would take me sometimes before I was able to go to school to the sawmill with him. He sat up, not like dangerous way, but I would sit up in the cart with him, and he would run the logging machines, and like that song just might slap me. He would come home dirty and smelling like sawdust every day, and I don't know, that I love that song. It's my favorite Eric Church song. So if you ever get a chance to hear it,
if you ever get lucky and those go around, I know whenever they do go around, they get pulled faster than you could imagine from the higher ups, because they're really not supposed to be out or anything else. But if you ever get a chance to hear, there's a handful out there. Eric did a mixtape video, and a little segment played of another one called Whiskey Wings, and that's one of my favorites from back then. But there's one song, if you ever get to hear this song, I'm going to tell you, whoever's listening, church choir, if you ever get to hear a song called Lover's Sacrifice, listen to it.
Oh my God, yeah.
Listen to it. Because if that song was released today, #1 song, guaranteed you, it would go straight to #1. So if you ever get a chance to listen to that song, I don't have it. I don't know where to get it, but if you get a chance to listen to it, do it.
What's funny, some of that stuff is on my iPod. I don't know how to get it off my iPod. I don't have copies of it anywhere else. But
yeah, so you can hear Whiskey Wings by D. Miller. That's Roger Miller's kid actually released Whiskey Wings, so you can hear that. Frazee knows another one. Yep, that's another good one when he mixes a girl named Brandy with a whiskey named Brandy, or a drink named Brandy. That's always a good one. So yeah, there's some really good ones. Man, I'm just going through these pictures, Lee. We are not gonna have enough time to talk about over a third of what I want to talk about tonight. So tell me, if you could pick any show and say that was in my top 3, pick one for me.
Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you exactly. I mean,
or do you have a number one?
Yeah, I definitely have a number one.
What's number one?
It's the Tar Heel Opry, which, just let me say, is this podunk place. I don't even know if it's still there, in eastern North Carolina. I mean, in the middle of nowhere. There's no stage. There's just like a 3-inch lip that the band stands on. And, I mean, they pulled up like folding chairs for you to sit in on the front row. And so that night, I remember Rachel was there, Stacy, I don't know, other people, but, it's a long time ago. Really early on in his career, that was a great show for me. It was coming off of his birthday, and I had gotten a copy of a band album, a vinyl, signed by the band. The band is my favorite. The band is my favorite band. So I think, I didn't say this when he played Dorton Arena, but when he played Ophelia and The Shape I'm In, I think that actually did it for me. I was like, whoa, somebody else that loves the band, and I love it when he plays the band.
Did he do one of the band songs? What song did he do at his high school, South Caldwell? He did a band song that night, but it wasn't.
I'm sure he did. Probably played Ophelia. I don't know.
Ophelia.
But I gave him an album that night, signed by the band, and I got myself one too. And I gave him one, and he thought it was really cool, and he even MySpaced me later to tell me thank you again. But that night. And I can't think of any other time this has happened, because it doesn't happen a lot. He doesn't dedicate songs to people very much. And so anytime that's ever happened for anybody, I remember it, But that night during the show, when he played The Weight, he was like, this one's for you, And I was like, oh, wow, But that show, I don't know, being in the backwoods of North Carolina and hearing him play, that also the picture that is right there was from a picture from that night that I did a mosaic of and gave to him. Yeah,
I got one too. But want to see what's really cool about mine? I mean, other than it, I think you signed it and Eric signed it. I have it framed on my wall, but look at the 2 business cards at the very bottom.
As the websites. That's cool.
Well, that's I actually pulled it off. I pulled it off the wall to show it to you tonight. So yeah, Lee made my wall in a few different ways.
That the picture you have up right now, that was at a lunch thing. And I tried to give it to him then, but he had to fly. So a few nights later, I went to Asheville and gave it to Catherine, and his family came back and got it from me. And then it made an appearance on Crib. It's like my one claim to fame. So I'm a teacher. And I taught elementary school for 10 years, and I teach art. And they always read that book, Flat Stanley. So I was like, why don't we do a flat ECB and like mail him around? So this is the band early on, and we would mail it from one fan to another. And you were supposed to like take pictures with him in different places. I know Becky has one from on Eric's bus, with it.
I tried finding mine. I have one next to a Tupelo police car.
Yeah.
I took mine down to Tupelo. That's when I was living in Mississippi, and I have a picture of Flat Stanley and the Tupelo police. So
Rachel put one in the book where it's like when she found out she was pregnant, 2 pink lines. She has one with it, I think. There are a lot of cool ones. That was fun, All
right, we gotta talk about this picture. Lori, I don't know where. I don't think I have it. I don't know what this one was. We gotta talk to Carla. I don't think this is
a copy.
Yeah, I don't think this is Lee's original. I'm pretty sure this was a copy that Carla laminated, and I don't know what we did with it. This isn't the original though.
No, but I made several copies, and people could like take one and keep it, or there were stickers.
I was gonna say I have a sticker of a magnet on one of my refrigerators of the same thing too. So, but all right, this photo we need to talk about. I made it. It made an appearance a few weeks ago, and then last week I added it to my little frame around. But now we got it originated with you. We got to talk about it.
Okay, yeah. So I think someone mentioned it the other day, and then they said just ask Lee about it. But so this picture is taken on Lake Norman in Charlotte, on this thing called the Redneck Yacht Club. Our local radio station back in 2007. They had a contest where you could win a trip with Eric Ottick, and you would cruise around during sunset on Lake Norman. I don't know. There's probably 75 people or so on it. It was really intimate. Some girl to marry on YouTube. Look up marriage proposal Redneck Yacht Club at church, and you'll see it. But it's the first time I met Amy Kitts from South Carolina, who's a huge fan, and I got to hang out with Kim and Stacy and several. And Nicole was there, but there was the first time we had ever heard Eric Church's fan or two at Rabid, and so we kind of made a joke about it. And we're like, "Oh, you better beware of us. We're rabid." And so I was walking through, the hardware store one day and was like, yeah, I'm going to have to make this sign into something else. And so I just bought some letters and changed it to the church choir. And it, the next weekend or whatever in Roanoke, Ed took it from me and put it up on stage on the drums. And they played the whole set with it on the stage. And it kind of went around. Eric had pictures with it. And it became a banner for our first reunion. And tell them what you told me.
We all signed it.
Yeah, about Susan. Susan has a copy. You can tell.
So there was, it was probably, I don't know, 6 months to a year ago. I don't know. So I know everybody. So it's no stranger to anything. Everybody, there's different air church groups because there's different strokes for different folks. There always has been. And I know sometimes HQ could be well overwhelmed, and I don't know if it was when the pit tickets for Double Down went on sale or something happened, but I know Susan was probably at the end of her ropes. And I sent her this picture, and she's like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. I'm like, it is from 10 years ago, and it still holds true to this day because no matter what, the church choir is rabid. And it doesn't matter. Like you said, there was an article about it. It doesn't matter if it was 2006 or now, if it's pit tickets or merch or this or that. I feel sorry for anybody that works for Eric Church that has to deal with the choir because, we're rabid. I mean, you guys think about people asking if Eric Church has an opener 10 times as bad. Just think if you worked in Susan's shoes for a week, you'd go crazy. I don't know why she uses her personal Facebook to answer half of these people. Not these people, half of the choir. So I take that back. But I support everything. I'll say that all day, every day. But yeah, I mean, the choir is just crazy. It's the way we are because we're passionate, and that's what it is. It's not, nobody asks stupid questions. We're just so passionate about the music that we love so much, and we get excited. We get overexcited for when shows come on. Some people don't get a chance to see them 2 or 3 times a year. They get to see them once every 3 or 4 years. So I mean,
absolutely.
There's never any stupid questions in the choir.
I just saw,
but at the end of the day, beware of the church choir.
I haven't. I try not to look over at the typing or the comments because I'll get off topic. But I see that my friend, he was one of our very first English 06 on the boards. So he remembers, he told me one time, like riding the train over across things, about just, he knew something was different about Eric. Like he loved him from the get-go, and he's followed him, to this day, and we kind of connected through him. So that was kind of cool. So hey, Keith, shout out.
well, do I know Keith? Why does he look familiar? Maybe I don't know him.
He's around sometimes on some of the boards and stuff. But he was he had English fan in his handle early on. So, yeah.
So this picture I'm going to share is probably one of my coolest and favorite pictures, and I know you took it.
I did. So that was a picture of you
last week. Yeah, go ahead. Talk about this picture.
CMA Fest night.
Mm-hmm.
Early, one of the first times he played Nissan Stadium. Is that right?
Night.
Yeah, first night.
The first time you ever played Nissan.
Aaron
isn't the walking bridge behind me?
Do what?
Yeah, I think that's a walking bridge behind me.
Yeah, it is. That's what I'm saying. So Aaron was sitting a few rows. We would turn around occasionally and be like, "Yeah, woo, yeah." And during these boots, I turned and looked, and like, I mean, I do a lot of photography work, and that's what I was doing. Pretty cool, badass thing that I I took of you. That's classic Aaron right there, holding his boot up.
That's one of my favorite
or puking in his boot.
I don't know if I were. We can go with we're already gonna be running late. I put a warning out on the site earlier. If you guys saw it, I said pre-warning. We're probably gonna go over a little bit tonight, and I just looked down. It's already 8:57, so we are definitely gonna go over because I definitely have a few more things I want to talk with Lee about. So let me go ahead about where we're talking about this. One of the coolest stories I'll tell you about this is I was nervous as hell for Eric Church this night. I mean, you'll probably remember this as I start talking about this. So Eric played right after Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
I think we're good, Bill. We were going in and out. I heard it too. Lee, you were breaking up for a few seconds, but I think hopefully we're back and everything's going good. So Taylor Swift's last song, she starts playing Tim McGraw all by herself on her guitar. And probably 30 seconds in, she goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, Tim McGraw." And out walks Tim McGraw. It was the year that Highway Don't Care was so huge. And right after she brings Tim McGraw out, she goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, Keith Urban." And now here's Keith Urban out here doing a guitar solo. Tim McGraw and Taylor Swift singing together. And then the song ends, and 5 minutes later, they're welcoming in Eric Church. I'm like, how the hell do you follow that for your first time at Nissan Stadium? But he did it in Eric Church fashion.
I'm pretty sure it was that show because we were sitting all the way on the right, like close to the stage, but in the bleachers. And I remember Eric being out there kind of watching from side stage in the dark, and I would see this glow, and he was like smoking a cigar. So he probably wasn't worried too much about it. But remember this glow, and then it would fade of the end of his cigar.
I know you got some teacher friends watching tonight, you said. So I got at least share this one picture of you because I know teachers sometimes just need to just let loose. What are you drinking out of this? So this year,
I'm really worried.
No, this picture is it was right after Eric played All for the Hall with Keith Urban and Vince Gill. And Eric actually gave me a bottle with his hang tag on it. It's not this bottle. This actually just has his hang tag on it with the old Chief logo.
Not
And it was actually Chief. It was actually Chief whiskey. We were at a tailgate and we passed it around. We all took tiny, tiny little sips.
No, I did not inhale.
No, oh no, I
was just holding it
right after. You were holding, okay.
I was holding it.
That's the
I was just holding it.
I don't think I have any other embarrassing pictures of you. I always want to find at least like one or two embarrassing pictures of my guests. But for Lee, you have been amazing. Let me look at it.
Thanks.
Like, I want to go through all these pictures I pulled, but I know we don't have plenty of time at all.
Nobody has work tomorrow. 7th graders. It's cool.
I don't know what you're doing in this photo. But I see a bunch of money.
What am I doing in that?
I think that was Hickory.
It looks like a strip club. It looks like a strip club. Take it off.
It's the church choir strip club, ladies and gentlemen. You throw the singles and ready to mingle.
Well, what's funny is I have a lot of pictures of you. You have a lot of pictures of me because we're usually close to each other.
We were the photographers and we were the website designers. I mean, like I said, Eric's website was terrible back in the day. So Lee and we ran the sites that everybody wanted to see. We would put the license plates and she would put the tattoos and everything else on these websites because it's like what we wanted to see as fans. We wanted to see what other fans were doing. And
as an artist, go ahead. Sorry.
No. It was grassroots. I mean, nobody played Eric Church. Nobody wanted to play anything. He would release songs that were career suicide, like Two Pink Lines and Smoke a Little Smoke. And nobody wanted to deal with him or play him on the radio. He would get fired from tours. And here we were just waving a damn flag and Lori's making fries with mustard and sending them to radio stations and money. And there's another picture.
There's this
I love it.
something about being an artist. It's like ingrained in me to document everything. It's like I have to document everything that happens in my life. I don't know, for some reason. I don't know. But that's that was at Raleigh. That's at the Long Branch. That was after the tree choir. Back when he it actually is funny because someone said we got to see him 3 times that day at the tree choir, and we talked to him. We had a meet and greet, and then after the show he hung out to sign. So we were like, man, I wonder if he's gonna like really get tired of us. But he didn't act like he did.
So tell me about this picture.
That's Kendra. So I said that was that show that he's laying down. That's Joe's. Again.
There you go.
Sorry.
You're good.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Okay. First time he played Cody Joe's. Kendra, he asked her to come on stage, his sister, and he gave her this guitar signed by everybody in the band crew, etc. And it was her birthday, I think. So it was a pretty cool moment with family, Living in North Carolina, I've gotten to see his family a lot at shows. And someone mentioned Marty Smith. I think there was a post recently about him writing in the front part for the book. But Marty's first show was that Greensboro show at Arizona Pete's. And Carla said, I think Lee was there. I was there. I remember seeing Marty in the crowd, but I had no idea that was his first big encounter, with Eric. And Brandon was there too.
I'll tell everybody right now that Marty Smith has an open invite to this podcast. I sent him a message. He read it. He acknowledged it. And he has an open invite to this podcast anytime he wants to walk on it.
That's cool.
So that's cool. I want to know what brought him in. I mean, I just want to. That's why I run this. I want to know why you're a fan. What sucked you in? Man, we got so many photos. We're gonna have to do a follow up. There ain't no way. There's no way we can do this all. I'm sorry. Look at all these photos. I'm like, we're gonna have to do a part 2, Lee. We're running out of time. This one.
So I didn't take that picture. I put that in there. Jim Burns took that, but I was with her, and she sent me some from that was at Roanoke show where they took the Beware of Church choir, and that night, probably the longest that I've ever hung out with him was that night with Cross and Dixon and them and Drive. I mean, everybody hung out at the bar. There was like a really nice restaurant beside the venue. They played in town in the Court Square, and then they all hung out at the restaurant later and just hung out. I mean, and just chatted other things, and but it was yeah.
All right, I don't know. I was gonna try to save some photos. I don't know if I did or not. So we got to do my hot seat that we normally do. I'm gonna play my little intro. So I do this thing where I pick up 10 questions. I give you 60 seconds and see how many questions you can answer. If you don't get through them all in 60 seconds, we're still gonna ask them either way.
Okay.
So, are you ready?
I guess.
All right, here we go. What is your favorite EC concert poster?
The green Chevy truck.
All right.
The old green Chevy truck. Yeah.
How many pieces of your artwork are hanging on Eric Church's walls? I knew it was more than one.
3, yeah.
If you're on an island, you can only take one EC album. What album are you taking?
Sinners. But Mr. Misunderstood has really grown on me too.
No. See, I'm a desperate man. It's getting up there.
Oh.
One venue you would love to see Eric Church play that you've never seen him at.
My backyard. Is that an option? No, I would love to see him. I don't know, like, I saw him at the race once, and that was really cool. Like commanding the whole like Charlotte Motor Speedway would be fun.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Like a festival. You camp
well, you made
out. That would be
4
nice.
questions. Same thing as everybody else. Well, we get to 4, and so we're still gonna ask you the rest of them. We're gonna have some good ones.
Okay, I'll quit.
I might have some pictures that go with a couple of these. So I'm gonna ask you.
Okay.
When we were in Hickory,
Mm-hmm.
no, hold on. Let me show this picture. We were in Hickory, and we're all sitting out there for hours upon hours. And you're telling everybody that I like boys. I burned something.
No.
That day. What did I burn?
Oh, you burned a picture of Rascal Flatts.
That's why you're talking about. I wrote Rascal Flatts on them thing. So somebody had some balls that night. I don't know who had these, but I'm sure somebody in chat or whatever will know this story. But somebody had Rascal Flatts sticker like promo album flyers that they were handing out at an Eric Church show right after he got kicked off the damn tour. So I did what everybody else would have done. I burnt the hell out of every one I could find. And I actually still have a burned one on my wall over here too.
Flameless, like it's going up your nose.
I think you probably took that picture too.
I know that.
All right, that was my 10th question. I skipped around. All right, my next one. I know you live close to it. Is Bigfoot real?
Oh, yes, he's totally real. When my town is known for Bigfoot, Animals Channel or whatever came and did this whole hunt for Bigfoot here in the Uray National Forest. I personally have never seen him, but I have some fun with it. So I'm going to choose to say yes to that and believe in Bigfoot.
If you could do dinner with any artist, past or present, who would you pick?
John Lennon. Period. Yep. No question.
Cease or smoke?
Oh, smoke. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I'll tell you,
I have nothing against.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, but
like I said, I love them both.
Yeah.
But one thing we always got with Ed that we don't get with Cease. Well, 2 things: talk box and harmonica. There's never any harmonica that began 2 Pink Lines anymore live because nobody in the band plays it. And there's not a talk box that was made popular by Peter Frampton years ago that Ed used to play before she does because nobody in the band plays it anymore. So if someone asked me that question, I'm going with smoke because dude had some more talents.
Didn't have as much as a beard though.
Ooh, Keith, we might have to throw that question up because I know she is a fan.
Yeah. You know, you asked somebody the other day, who was it? Who was your person before Eric? So I'm a huge Oasis fan from the 90s. Huge.
I remember that.
Huge, ridiculous. So I know it's embarrassing.
Your favorite Eric Church opener?
Dirt Drifters. Oh my God! You know, I'm like well, I love Bingham.
Poster back here.
I love Bingham too. I love Bingham, but the Dirt Drifters, I wish they were. I mean,
that was your band back in the day.
Yeah. Oh yeah, great band.
Yeah. All right, the last one. Man, that went through quick on these. One song that you want Eric Church to cover that he's never covered before.
Has he done Night Moves? Seeker?
Yeah, well, I have somewhat of him doing Night Moves. So Sweet Caroline probably could have helped with this, but back in the day, Sweet Caroline sent me. He did CRS. It was introduction, and he did like a 15-minute like introduction medley of all his music and music that he grew up on, and he actually took Night Moves into Two Pink Lines, and it was amazing.
You know, I think in Flyer Directory, I think I said that, but I'll tell you something else now because I thought about this. My favorite band song is Arcadian Driftwood.
Nice.
And I know, so he, you know, when they used to have the VIP and they would play his iPod?
Yep.
I was in the VIP one night in Virginia and they were playing his iPod and that song came on and no one knew it. And I was like, holy you know. So I know he must like it. I would love to hear him cover Arcadian Driftwood.
Either he likes that song or he's like me. So when I get in the car and I plug my phone in, and if it's plugged into the USB, for some reason my iTunes starts at A and plays down, and that's the fifth song that always plays. So probably within 20 minutes of my drive, whenever I'm lazy, I just get in my car and plug my phone in and just let it roll. About fifth song, 20 minutes into my drive, it's Arcadian Driftwood, the band, every time. I love it. I just jam out to it all the time. So if he did it, I'm right there with you.
You cut out there. You like it, but you cut out there. But
yeah,
I got some of it.
I was talking about it. Look at this picture. You see this picture?
It's coming. It's loading.
That was Skinny Striver right there.
Let's not even talk about that.
That's a good picture. I don't even know what show it's from.
No, that's from that's at Judges. That's at the reunion at Judges.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because look at me sporting some denim. Hi.
Well, that was like 100 pounds lighter there. No,
you talking about me or you both?
Oh, yeah, a little bit. No. We got this one here. Guys, I wish I could sit here and share photos all night long with Lee. Lee, this has been amazing. So I wish we could go for another album.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Before you close, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for letting me on. I just told him before the show, not only am I loving hearing a lot of the people that I know talk, but I cannot wait to hear a lot of the newer fans. I know there's been bickering back and forth about who's been to what and who's how old. None of that matters to me. You know, I always say this. Now I know this we're running over, but I love the Beatles. But I wasn't a live fan. No, I don't care if you're Eric Church's day or 20 years ago. Like if you're a fan, you're a fan. So I'm really interested in hearing everybody that you've got coming up. So thank you for doing this. I appreciate it. It's been fun.
Well, Lee, you are the reason why I started this because I got tears after what you just said. I'm not gonna lie. There's so many fans from back in the day that we were a family back then. I mean, we still are. I mean, granted, a lot of the fans from 06, 07, 08, they don't get out the shows as much. We got families, we got health problems, we got everything else going on in the world right now. And we try to get out as much as we can and do as much as we can. And when we do see the bickering and everything else within fan groups and everything else, it kind of hurts because What we started back in 06 as a fan club, as a grassroots campaign, was love for one thing, and that was the music that we followed. And we were passionate about it. We would go and build websites and take pictures and make French fries with mustard and send them out and everything else. We would do these things that now he has marketing people to do. But when we see stuff like that, I mean, it bothers us in a way because we wanted this to be a family fun atmosphere. And just like you're seeing over these first 4 episodes, tonight Lee is the last, well, not the last OC member, but my last run of OC members, original choir is what I call them. So back in the day, we had Carla, we had Sweet Caroline, we had Corey, we had Lee. Next week, we're going over to David Weber. He's a newer fan. He came on, I think, shortly before Outsiders, maybe. Big collector, so I'm really looking forward to him. But I'm looking forward to the people that have seen one show. If I can find one guest for this show, it's going to be a guy that is a diehard NRA fan that hates Eric Church. I want him to come on the show and just talk to me. I mean, no, nothing mean, nothing ugly. Just let's talk. And that's why I created this podcast for older fans, newer fans to come together, share your stories, because we all love Eric Church. So we all love him. Then we all have the common bond with Eric Church. So all this other petty shit on the side, let it go.
Yeah, I'm too old for that.
Music. All about the music.
Yeah, music.
Lee, we are definitely, if I extend this and do another 50, we're doing a part 2 because I have like 30 more pictures that I've never shared. I have this goofy one I got to take off now that I've had sitting here. Thank you.
All right, hey, man, it's been awesome. Thank you. Bye, guys.
Take care of yourself, your family, and everybody else, and I will see you at a show very soon. I promise you.
Bye, guys.
I love you.
Thank you. Love you.
Guys, that was awesome. That's probably, honestly, from the heart, that was one of my favorite shows, especially there at the end. Just talking about everything. It's a family. We love music. We're always there. Let's keep this going. I'm going to have fun with this. I'm going to tell the stories of all other choir members. We're going to have a good time doing this. I mean, heck, God, this was so much fun tonight. Look, I got all this stuff back here. We were shared tonight. So, like I said, next week we have probably one of the biggest fans that I've met, collectible fans. This is actually his right here. I have to give him next time I see him. But my buddy David Weber is going to be on next week. It was supposed to be Jeff Brown. We had to reschedule him for next year. So we're going to bring David Weber on next week. But thank you guys so much for joining me. I knew we were going to go over tonight. I've had tons of messages about extending this to 90 minutes. I know. Maybe one of these days, but I got to go put my kids to bed. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. We're already over like 7,500 views for 4 shows. I don't know what we got tonight, but we're getting close on 10,000. And
she's gaining fast on me.
Yeah, so what he said. So we got some really cool shows coming up. I do want to talk about one thing before I sign off. And when I talk about it, I'm done. We're going to do something really cool. The last show of the year, December 30th. I talked to him today for briefly. We're still planning it. We're going to finalize it. It's going to be a win-only show at my house in my basement for 30 people. So it's going to be December 30th, and I'm going to have the band Chief, Trevor, Joey, whoever else shows up from the band. They're going to play live on my stage here in my basement, and we're going to do a live podcast. So it's going to be a 2-hour podcast, December 30th. And I'm going to do some kind of contest, something, and where we're going to do win your way in. We're going to do 30 tickets, win your way in. We're going to do a live podcast right here in the basement with a live band playing Eric Church songs all night long with the band Chief. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So more details coming soon. But if you're interested, let me know. December 30th, if you're in the area. It'll be like an early New Year's Eve party because New Year's Eve I'll probably be with the family or something. So you guys, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for joining me on the show, hanging out with me week after week. I'm going to be here for at least 50, and then we'll see from there. Take care. We'll see you next week with my buddy David Weber.
Gainin' Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver celebrates the music and fans of singer-songwriter Eric Church. Join Aaron again next week as he shares inside stories and life adventures with another amazing member of the church choir. And remember, everything you need to know about the world can be learned in the church choir. Thanks for joining in on the fun, and we'll catch you next time on the Gainin' Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver.